hello friends, and welcome back to our story corner. Today, I have a heartwarming and clever tale for you about a mother S-love and a little one S-wit. So gather round, get comfy, and let's dive into the story of the silly kid and the clever mother. Once upon a time, nestled on a lush, green, hilly slope, there stood a small, cozy hut. In this hut lived a mother goat named Dolly with her only kid, Boca. Now, Boca's name meant silly or foolish, and Dolly had named him so because, well, he was just a little bit absent-minded. He'd often forget where he left his favorite toy or trip over his own little hooves. But while Boca was a bit silly, his mother, Dolly, was incredibly clever and always cautious, especially when it came to keeping her precious Boca safe. One bright and sunny morning, Mother Dolly decided she would go into the nearby forest to fetch some delicious creepers and tender leaves for them to eat. It was a bit of a journey, and she knew she'd be gone for a while. Before setting off, she called Boca close and looked him right in the eyes. "Listen very carefully, Boca," she said in a serious but gentle tone. "You must not, under any circumstances, open the door for anyone until I return. There is a cunning jackal who roams this forest. He is tricky and sly. If he sees you alone, he will try to fool you and take you away." Boca's ears drooped a little, listening intently. So his mother continued, "You must remember one special signal. When I come back, I will knock exactly 3 times on the door. Like this, knock, knock, knock. And then I will clear my throat and say these exact words. 'Mama, open the door. I've brought new grass for you. Do you understand?' Do not open the door for anyone who doesn't give this signal and say those exact words." Boca, wanting to be a good kid, nodded his head enthusiastically. "All right, Mother, I will remember. 3 knocks, and then you'll say, 'Mama, open the door. I've brought new grass for you.'" Satisfied that Boca understood, Mother Dolly gave him a nuzzle, picked up her basket, and headed off towards the forest. But they weren't alone. Hiding just behind a large leafy tree not far from the hut was the very same cunning jackal. He had been watching and listening to everything. His whiskers twitched with excitement. A silly little goat all by himself. He thought, "This will be too easy." As soon as Mother Dolly was out of sight, the jackal seized his opportunity. He crept silently up to the little hut. He raised his paw and gave the door one single, loud knock. From inside, Boca's little voice called out, "Who is it?" The jackal tried to make his voice sound gentle, but it came out raspy and hoarse. "MAA-MAA ... Open the door, I've brought new grass for you," he croaked. Boca tilted his head. Something wasn't right. He thought to himself, "Oh dear, that doesn't sound like Mother at all. Her voice is sweet and clear, and he only knocked once. Mother said she would knock 3 times. Even though he was sometimes a bit silly, Boca remembered his mother's warning perfectly. Feeling brave, he called back through the door, "You are not my mother. You only knocked once, and your voice is not as sweet and lovely as my mother's. Go away." The jackal was furious. He couldn't believe his plan had been thwarted by a silly little kid. He stomped his feet in frustration and slunk away from the door. He wasn't going to give up that easily, though. He went deeper into the woods and started yelling and shouting for a while, trying to clear his throat and change his voice to make it sound higher and sweeter. After practicing for some time, he thought he had it just right. He returned to the hut, feeling much more confident. This time he carefully raised his paw and knocked exactly 3 times on the door. Knock, knock, knock. Again, Bokka's voice came from inside. "Who is it?" The jackal took a deep breath, cleared his throat, and in a surprisingly sweet voice that almost sounded like Mother Dolly's, he sang, "Mama, open the door. I've brought new grass for you." Now, Bokka was completely confused. He pressed his ear against the door. The knocking was correct. He mumbled to himself. 3 knocks, just like she said. And the voice. It sounds so much like Mother's. But is it really her? He felt a little scared, but he knew he had to be absolutely sure. His clever mother had always told him to use his wits. An idea popped into his little head. He called out, "All right, if you are really my mother, then prove it. Show me the tip of your tail through the small crack beneath the door." The jackal outside froze. He was in big trouble. He looked down at his own tail. It was long, thin, grey, and dirty from running through the forest. He knew perfectly well that Mother Dolly's tail was fluffy, white, and bushy, like a cotton ball. There was no way he could make his scruffy grey tail look like her beautiful white one. He pushed and pulled, trying to hide his tail, but it was no use. Defeated, and now afraid that Mother Dolly might return at any moment and catch him. The jackal tucked his tail between his legs and ran away as fast as he could, disappearing back into the forest for good. Just a little while later, Mother Dolly truly did return from her trip, her basket full of fresh leaves and creepers. She walked up to her little hut and knocked gently 3 times on the door. Then, in her familiar, sweet voice, she called out, "Mama, open the door. I've brought new grass for you." Hearing his mother's real voice, Bokka's heart leaped with joy. He quickly unlatched the door and leaped into her loving embrace. He was so happy to see her. He then excitedly told his mother everything that had happened about the jackal's first attempt with the wrong knock and raspy voice, and the second, much cleverer attempt. Mother Dolly listened carefully, her heart swelling with pride. She gently kissed her clever child's forehead and hugged him tight. "Oh, my dear Bokka," she said softly, "you see why you must always be cautious. The first time, the jackal was exposed because he was foolish. But when he tried to be cunning the second time, it was your own wit that saved you. I am so proud of you." From that day forward, Bokka was never really silly or absent-minded again. He learned a valuable lesson and was always alert and careful. But even though he had become a very clever little goat, his mother Dolly affectionately kept calling him her silly kid, as a sweet reminder of the little kid who outsmarted a cunning jackal. And that's the end of our story. Boca learned that even if you think you're a little bit silly, you have a big, clever brain inside that can help you stay safe. What a wonderful lesson! I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give this video a big thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more amazing stories. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.